is. He's up there from the Northern Panhandle.
He's awesome. Tremendous.
Yeah, Dr. Ron. Good dude.
We were talking in my office a little earlier, and a phrase that Ryan used that I was really kind of gobsmacked over. He started a sentence with me. He said, "We were watching football on Thursday."
I know, he did the same thing to me. He did this. Is this like Earth 2?
I said, what?
He came back and started telling me about the Cowboys and the Chiefs game.
I know.
And you were watching the Lions game on
Yeah,
Thanksgiving Day.
Well,
What happened? What happened to our little Ryan?
Well, when my Uncle Bill and my Uncle Chris asked if I want to watch football with them, I don't say no.
Okay.
So
because I'm not a I'm not a recluse anymore.
So if you have uncles that are big sports fans, do you get some creds? Are you like, hey, I'm actually you want to kind of sports show? It's syndicated.
Well, I don't.
Statewide.
Well, I don't want this to be a sports show.
Second game this season that Honors had 8 threes. Second time he's had 8 threes, and his coach has pulled him out with over 4 minutes to go.
You're up 40.
Yeah, but coach just does not want to see him get that record.
There may have been a discussion about that on exactly where he was in the number.
Did you let him know this time?
But there was a discussion about where he was with the number. But at the end of the day, Ross decided the juice not worth the squeeze there. With 3.5 minutes left is when he pulled him out after the timeout there. And listen, that's a guy with a lot of minutes on his in his body. You need to rest him. But 2 out of 11, you got to think maybe he's going to approach that again. Here's what's wild. In those 2 games where he's just been one off of Alex Ruoff's record, he's now a combined 16 of 20 from 3 in those 2 games. So he didn't just make 8 threes, guys. He was 8 of 11 last night. He was 8 of 9 when he did it before. 16 of 20 combined in those 2 games.
Across this great state of West Virginia, welcome in high school game nights. I chuckle a little bit, folks, because it said early edition.
As compared to the
Only
rest
edition.
of the edition, yeah.
Yeah. Tonight is going to be interesting, to say the least.
10 seconds remaining.
Going to be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
You had a moment of clarity about when it all started to make sense for you?
It did, because I didn't want to be a filmmaker growing up. I didn't even know what filmmaking was growing up. I used to watch Oprah and Katie Couric, and that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be you. And I worked at West Virginia University's radio station, had a very thick accent. People would call in and make fun of me. And so I asked my roommates, my college roommates who were from Baltimore, to teach me how to talk differently.
Really?
Yeah. And it's a loss, I feel, from that. And it's probably one of the reasons why I love documenting people that are authentic. Like, I don't know if I'm authentic, but I think the people I find are very authentically who they are, and that's what draws me to them.
Five, 3.
Red 57! Red 57! Hot, hot!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sports Line. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Sportsline for Friday, leading up to a big sports weekend in Morgantown. The Baylor basketball teams will both be here. The men's game tomorrow, the women's game on Sunday. We'll take a look at those contests coming up. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. Kyle Wiggs, Greg Hunter, and Brad Howe. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello, boys.
We will be joined by John Morris, play-by-play voice of Baylor. Take a deep dive into a Baylor team that's really, really struggling to win in the Big 12, just 1-7. And they've got depth issues. They have defensive issues, and it just hasn't been a good season.
Not an easy league, is it?
No.
It's hard to come in. It's also hard to play with an entirely new roster,
and that's
as
what
some
they
are
have.
finding, right? And we talk about this the last 3 years at West Virginia. But, yeah, Baylor in a position they're not accustomed to. But, guys, I keep saying it's one of those programs, though, don't look past this because they've still got some talented guys on that team. And, Greg, it looks like a Baylor team. They are long. They have players in spots that will cause some problems. So not an easy one by any stretch coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, and I again, you can't get past what the record is, but you look up and down their roster and you look at the resume of those players coming in, 5-star guys, highly thought of players.
Professional basketball player that was drafted in the NBA, Greg.
Yes.
Don't forget about him.
So they've got guys.
Yeah.
They just got to find a way to put it all together.
They do. And Cameron Carr is one of the elite scorers in the country, let alone the Big 12. And he'll be an interesting one to watch tomorrow because he comes in off his only game all year where he didn't score in double figures. He just had 4 points the other night against Cincinnati. So strap it in. I have a feeling Cameron Carr is going to come out firing on Saturday at Hope Coliseum.
Yeah, he averages just shy of 20 points per game. And they've got seems like every team, Brad, has a standout freshman, and Baylor's got a 5-star guy.
Tunde Yesufu comes in, and he's a really good athlete. He'll get up and down the floor on you. And those two, they'll create some issues because they're those swing guys. They're each about 6'5", so that's going to be a matchup situation. Is that Belo drawing one of them? Probably. Belo's 6'9", put some height on him, but athletic enough to stay in front of him. Jasper Floyd, we've talked about every game for the last 6, drawing the best guard on the opposing team, and what a great job he has done. That's a little bit of a size disadvantage for Jasper matching up if he gets one of these guys. So it'll be a fun game coming up tomorrow.
A deep dive into Baylor coming up with John Morris in just a couple of moments. On one of our televisions up here, we are watching Akron take on Kent State. So Morgantown High's Sharon Young in the starting lineup for the University of Akron men's basketball team. He's making his 9th start of the year. And Akron, who went to the NCAA tournament last year, is having another really good year. It's 17-4 overall, 8-1 in conference play. And guys, this is, I don't know if it's the exact date, but this is the 2-year anniversary of Sharon Young this weekend. Sharon Young besting Jay Jacobs' Morgantown High all-time scoring record. He did that down in the Battle of the Springhouse, Battle for the Springhouse down at the Greenbrier.
I remember that. You had the call on that, didn't you? Because I remember, Greg, we piped Kyle in on that and turned it up and got Sharon on there. And you're right, Kyle, he's having another really good year. If you look through some of his numbers, a really good offensive rating. He's one of the lowest turnover rate guys in the country. So a good sophomore season here for Sharon.
Speaking of Battle of the Springhouse, going on this weekend, and I know Morgantown High's girls team.
They won.
Yeah, had a nice victory over a really good Parkersburg club.
They beat Morgantown, beat Parkersburg today, 54-45 in women's basketball. And Parkersburg with one of the state player of the year candidates in Kennedy Porter. And Morgantown's a little banged up. No Kaylee Kellogg all year. And Brenna Nelson, who had been their best player this year with Kellogg out, she's out for the year. So that's a very nice win for Morgantown over Parkersburg, 54-45 in girls basketball. And one of the boys' games is over as well. Bridgeport, defending champs in Class AAA. We visited with Bridgeport coach Dave Marshall on High School Sportsline Wednesday, if you're interested in going back and listening to that. But Bridgeport beat Wyoming East 70-44 today. And by the way, congratulations to Coach Marshall, who's one of the most successful basketball coaches in the history of the state. He was named the National Coach of the Year for 2024-2025 by the National Federation.
Heck of an honor there.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg, we talk about that tournament down there all the time. I know you guys talked to Cam Huffman earlier this week. I still love that thing. I think that's so weird and great. Just put them in a ballroom, roll a floor out there, Kyle, and let's play.
Yeah, really is a great atmosphere. And Cam told us that the Greenbrier East games are sold out, pretty much. That's what he said, right?
Yeah, I had to find a way to squeeze in a few more seats
in
there to accommodate as many as wanted to get in there.
Well,
it was amazing. $5 a game is all the ticket price is for those contests.
I think it's great. I think it's really cool that the high schools did it, but we'll talk about it forever because of what the WVU women's team did down there with the Greenbrier 5. So we liked it before that. Now that adds to the tradition of it. I think it's tremendous they do this.
College games down there, and Cam said last night that they're probably going to add a women's bracket. That was a one-game situation there with West Virginia against Duke, but they're going to add a women's bracket to go with the men's games that go on there, and then this high school event, Greenbrier East boys playing against James Monroe, that game just getting underway. And then, of course, Senator Jim Justice and his Greenbrier East girls team will play Riverside, that game scheduled for 8 o'clock tonight. And then the games tomorrow, everybody goes down there and has a nice weekend, spends the weekend there, the teams do and their families. The games tomorrow are 1, 3, 5, and 7. So if you're in the vicinity, head on out to the Greenbrier.
See, I think that's great. So they can play that this weekend, and then back to next Friday, you can go in there and have your buffet in that same room. I get a really good meal in there. I think that's so great.
That is true. That's a very good point. All right, anything of note come out of the coaches show last night?
No, I think just the good news is everybody's just moving ahead. You're not battling any sickness or major injuries at this time. So Ross is the same as us, wary about the opponent tomorrow. He has a great deal of respect for Scott Drew and made the point last night. Everybody's talking about Kurt Cignetti and the job he did at Indiana. He said what came first and equally as difficult, if not harder, was the Baylor turnaround that Scott Drew has implemented since he arrived. I mean, if you remember back when he took that job, scandal's not even that's a nice way to say what it was. There was a murder of one of the players, another player implicated in that from the team. The sanctions that came on that Baylor team included no non-conference games. Remember that weird season, Greg? They didn't play any non-conference games. They started when the conference season began, and so Scott Drew came in and took over for Dave Bliss and has not only turned them around and made them a relevant program, made them into a national championship program. So Ross is one that believes that might have even been a tougher gig than what Kurt Cignetti did at Indiana, which we know is one of the all-time great sports stars. So a lot of respect for Scott Drew.
That is
Ross.
Interesting, and we're all kind of we're prisoner of the moment. All the talk about Kurt Cignetti and what he did being the, quote, the greatest college coaching job ever. Well, just think back to 5 years ago now, when Scott Drew won a national championship with a Baylor team that, like you said, had not only scandal-ridden, but probably the biggest scandal in the history of college sports. He builds that program up to where they're a contender to go to the Final Four, and they win a national championship
every year. And Tony pointed out last night it was a program with a losing record in its history when Drew took over, and now a program with a winning record in its history. So just remarkable. Now, Cignetti, obviously, that's not taking anything away from him. He did it in 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
The speed in which he did it is what's even more remarkable than doing it. But Scott Drew certainly should absolutely be in that discussion of best college sports turnarounds.
Yeah, I mean, we don't appreciate it as much because, at least in Baylor's term, because West Virginia wasn't part of the Big 12.
Right.
So it was sort of a distant news story. But having been in the Big 12 now and seeing where Baylor is at this point, we don't think of them as a bad team or a bad program or scandal-ridden. They're just really, really good. New arena. I mean, all the things that they've got. It's amazing what he's got going down there now.
And he's one of the few guys, he's been there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he took that thing over, like we said, and hasn't left. Flirted with some schools reportedly, is certainly in the discussion for major jobs every year, and you'd be crazy to not talk to him. But he's a guy, a rare guy in today's day and age that sat down there for, what's he been there, 23, 24 years? It's 20-plus years that Drew's been at Baylor. So just a remarkable job that he's done. So that's all of those things are mixed into this. You say, okay, there's a 1-7 Baylor team rolling into the Coliseum tomorrow, but that's why everybody's on edge saying their record is not indicative of what this team might be like.
304 Talk 304, that is the text line. We'll get a break out of the way. We invite your texts. We'll get to them a little bit later on in the show. When we return, we will be joined by John Morris, play-by-play voice of the Baylor Bears. They've arrived in town. They came on in yesterday after a loss at Cincinnati earlier in the week. So they're here. They're ready to go. The Baylor men will play the Mountaineers on Saturday, and then, of course, the women's game, West Virginia and Baylor, coming up on Sunday. So more on all of that on the CityNet statewide sports line. We will take our first break, and I can tell you that CityNet is bringing ultra-fast internet to more West Virginia homes every day. Right now, get 50% off any plan for your first year. Check availability and join the fiber revolution at citynet.net. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
The Mountain State Assessment of Trends in Community Health, or MATCH, is a survey sent to 88,000 West Virginian home addresses where the information you provide can support policymakers to direct resources to help your community. If selected, you will receive the survey information and invitation in the mail. You can complete the survey online, by mail, or by phone, and you will be compensated for your time. Visit wvmatchsurvey.org for more information. Helping your community is a touchdown for West Virginia.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
At the Health Plan, we are here for you, and we have been one of the most trusted carriers for over 40 years. Headquartered right here in West Virginia, providing exceptional health coverage and local customer service.
The Health Plan, we are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Cava Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
CityNet statewide sports line for Friday night. Thanks for joining us. Kyle Wiggs, Greg Hunter, Brad Howe in the studio. We'll check the text line 304 Talk 304. Coming up, Mountaineer basketball team against Baylor tomorrow. The Baylor Bears in town. And play-by-play voice John Morris joins us. And John, good evening. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
You bet. Good to be on with you guys. How are you tonight?
We're doing great. We're a little cold, but it's all right.
Yeah, you can imagine if you're cold, we're really
Well,
cold.
I was going to say, how's the Texas contingent dealing with Cincinnati and Morgantown weather?
Well, we're making it. It was cold in Waco when we left, but our cold is different than your cold, so we're making it, no question.
Yeah,
glad we're playing indoors tomorrow.
You do realize it's going to be 4 below zero tonight. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. Makes a good story. When we go back home or when we text back home, it makes for a better story. Well, now, John's fine. He's got a nice hotel room there. He's not sleeping outside, Kyle. He's all right. That's true. That's true, yeah.
Let's get into this Baylor team. What's going on? 1-7 in conference play. Doesn't look like offense is a problem. 85 points, ranked in the top 5 in the league offensively. Why can't this team put it together?
I don't know. You tell me, because I don't have the answer. I guess the simple answer is, and you guys and your team and your fans can relate to this, but it's a whole new team this year. Like West Virginia, we had 0 guys returning and 0 points returning. So they had to, cobble the entire roster together. And I think that they're just still figuring out how to play together and play well together. And hopefully, these are the right guys that they went out and got. And it's been disappointing, by Baylor standards, to be sitting here at 1-7 in conference play. It's been 20 years, the 05-06 season, when Baylor, had this slow of a start to conference. So it's been a long time. But I think that's a big part of it. And there's other things, the offense was not there in the loss to Cincinnati the other night. Did some things really well in that game, but then you only scored 57 points, and that's not going to win you many games there. Rebounding has been pretty consistently good for this team, and I think they've got a rotation down now. They know they know, I think the roles are defined on this team, but they're just still finding their way.
John, we're used to Scott Drew's teams being so good defensively. And as Kyle said, they're scoring points, are the Bears, but are they as good defensively as some of those others we're used to?
No, not near as good, and that's a big factor. We played TCU last Saturday and lost 97-90. In the game before that, we gave up 92 points to Texas Tech. Now, those are really good teams, but Baylor's not used to giving up that many points. And I think the offense, for the most part, can keep up, but not when the score totals get that high. So to answer your question, it's definitely not as good defensively, so that's definitely part of the work in progress.
John, you mentioned the game earlier this week at Cincinnati where points were at a premium, which is not a surprise playing the Bearcats, one of the better defensive teams, not only in the league but in the country. I think they get after it and guard really well. I think the surprise maybe for some was Cameron Carr, who's had such an unbelievable season, just couldn't get it going in that game. What was that, number one? And then number two, tell us a little bit more about Carr, who, as I said, has been fantastic this season.
Yeah, good question. Cam is if we have a returning player, he's the closest we have to that, because he was in Waco last year redshirting after he transferred from Tennessee, but he never played in a game last year. And then everybody else around him is brand new to the team this year. And Cameron has been our leading scorer from day one, and he's been really consistent. Going into the Cincinnati game, he'd had, 11 straight games scoring 15 or more points, and that's what you want. You want a consistent scoring presence, and he has done that. But the other night was just so abnormal. He scored 4 points total. 2 of those came at the free throw line. One thing, he was 1 of 11 from the floor, so it was just a bad night at the wrong time. If you get him close to his scoring average, and he's just under 17 points a game in conference play, if you have a normal night, an average night from him, and Baylor is right in that game with Cincinnati and Mike could have won it. But with him scoring 4 points, there just wasn't much of a chance. And I don't know what it was. Obviously, teams focus on him as the leading scorer, but he just had an off night. And I'll tell you another thing. Cam gets a lot of points at the free throw line because he drives and draws fouls. He's really good at that, And the other night, that wasn't happening. It happened 2 or 3 times late in the game, but not till really late, and there wasn't enough time for Baylor to catch up.
So that was part of it on the night. It was just an off-night shooting, and he wasn't getting those fouls, drawing those fouls like he normally does. And Baylor, to be honest, can't win with Cam Carr scoring only 4 points.
Let's move on to the 5-star, Tunde Yesufu. Describe his game if you can. One thing that stands out to me, it's 6'5". He seems to get to the offensive glass an awful lot, so that seems to be a big part of his ability to score.
Yeah, and he's a true freshman, and he doesn't look like it in any way. He doesn't look like it physically. He doesn't look like it in the way he plays the game. And you're right, he attacks the boards really well. I mean, coaches have beat that into his head to the point that he's our leading rebounder in conference play. It's Tunde Yesufu at 6'5". But he is, and he's a great guy and a great fit for our program. He's from the small African country of Benin, which I had to study up on and look and see, but played high school basketball in California, all-time leading scorer in California high school history. And we got him to Waco, and he has just been terrific. He's averaging 15 points and I think 6 rebounds a game in conference play, and that's for a true freshman in this league. And we got a lot of really good freshmen in this league. But Tunde is right up there with any and all of them. And it's funny as a true freshman, it's interesting as the season has gone on how much we depend on him. You'd like for a freshman to come in and kind of fit in with everybody else, but the way this team is constructed, we really need him to be good and consistently good every night.
Baylor made some major news about a month ago when they signed and brought in a prospect who was a former NBA draft pick in James Njai. So he's now on the squad, playing in a number of games. Played overseas for a bunch of years professionally, but never did play in the NBA. So tell us a little about Njai, and that brought some notoriety and reaction from a variety of people.
Yeah, interesting. I didn't hear anything about that. Hey, are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I was just reading stories, so you tell me.
Yeah. No, that was out there a little bit, and he's a great guy, and it's actually Naji, James Naji.
Okay.
7-foot freshman. He's from Nigeria, and it is. I'm not going to say a loophole in the rules because it's completely within the rules. He was drafted 31st in the NBA draft a couple of years ago, but he never signed and never played NBA or G League. He's been playing in Europe. So he's like a lot of other guys and girls in other sports, who play overseas and then come to college. He'd never enrolled in a college before. So it is all perfectly legal. There's no questions about that, or shouldn't be any questions about that, about his eligibility. But he's just raw. He's 21 years old. But as he got in and started working out with our team, and first game he played was our conference opener against TCU on January 3rd, he's just raw. There's a lot of potential there. I'm not sure he'll be around long enough for Baylor to see that potential, come to fruition. But he's big. He's got a 7'7" wingspan, and he's handled everything really well. He's been booed a lot of places, no more so than TCU in that first game, and it hadn't been as bad other places since then. But he's a really good kid, and he said, we sat down and did an interview with him, after the TCU game, and I said, what about the reaction that you got there? And he said, yeah, I really, and he was very honest, I really don't understand that. There's other guys playing college basketball around the country, and I don't see them getting that kind of reaction. And it's because it was so well publicized and kind of an odd situation in that he had been an NBA draftee. But a really good kid, and he can give you a few minutes off the bench. It's not any more than that. So you'll see it. You'll see it tomorrow night. He's a project and could be really good down the road. And he's handled all this well and fit in with Baylor's culture really well also.
We're talking with John Morris, play-by-play voice for the Baylor Bears. John, before you came on, we were talking about the fantastic job Scott Drew has done with this program and Ross talked about it on his show last night. He thinks it's right up there with the greatest college coaching jobs in any sport in the history of the sport, given where Baylor was. You're so close to Scott and have been around for a long time. What is it that makes him so elite and has been able to do what he has done at Baylor?
Well, I'm sorry I missed that. We need some positive stuff around this program right now, so thank you for that. But I think you're right. I think it's interesting with what Curt Cignetti did with Indiana football this year. People are looking for comparisons, and a lot of people point to Coach Drew and what Coach Drew did at Baylor. Difference would be it took Coach Drew several years to get things going and then win a national championship, where Curt Cignetti did it, in 2 years at Indiana. But, man, he took over this program, you guys know and remember, when a lot of coaches wouldn't have touched this job. They said, I don't want a piece of that. But Coach Drew felt called to Baylor. The mission of Baylor fits him perfectly. And he has come in and just the most relentless worker I have ever been around. I've been around a lot of coaches, and nobody I've seen work harder than Coach Drew and his staff. So, you mix those together to fit so well with Baylor University, and to have the drive that he has, and to be a good coach. Also, there were questions early on: could he really coach, or was he just getting good players? He can coach. I mean, you don't win a national championship and have the success Baylor's had if you can't coach. So for all of those things, he has just been the perfect mix with Baylor, and he's done it for a long time now. This is his 23rd year here at Baylor, and that fire burns just as hot now as it did on day one when he took the Baylor job. So I'm glad we've got him, and that's my hope. Baylor's 1-7 right now, but tomorrow will be the midpoint of the conference schedule. I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow and what happens the second half of the conference round robin. Because with Coach Drew, you just see how hard he works and know that could be a breakthrough coming at any time.
Is depth an issue with this team? I know one of your big players is out that you really were banking on for scoring and rebounding. It looks like you've only got one guy, Isaac Williams, who's providing consistent offense off the bench. It looks like, again, a 7-man rotation. Has that been an issue?
A little bit, and it's up to 8 now. If you count Najee in, in the rotation, and he plays minimal minutes, but if you count him in, there's 8. Got another guard, J.J. White, that broke his foot early, and he'll be back in maybe a couple of weeks. But good question, because that is a bit of a factor. The depth isn't real deep. You'll see 2, 3 at the most guys off the bench for the game tomorrow.
Got to ask a football question before we let you go. The transfer portal is now slowed down a little bit. Everybody went through that. How did the Bears come out?
I think good. Here's my philosophy on this. When the dust settles, they're going to give us a list of guys that are going to be in a Baylor uniform this year, and then I'll really dig deeper into it. So other than that, I'm just meeting a few of the guys when they come through. I met DJ Lagway. I'm excited about him. He's a quarterback from Willis, Texas, who visited Baylor initially out of high school and then signed with Florida. So I'm excited about him coming in, and he'll probably be our quarterback this fall. But then around him, I hear good things. I think we lost 29 players in the portal. And what I tell people is, some of those left on their own. Some of them we helped them pack, I think. So, again, when the dust settles, we'll see where we are. It's going to be a key year for Coach Aranda, though, that's for sure. Last year was very disappointing. I thought, and a lot of people thought, we had a chance to compete for the conference championship and weren't even close to it this past year. So this will be a key year coming up. And, again, I trust Coach Aranda and their talent evaluation, which is as important these days as almost anything. So it'll be fun to see, who the new players are and how they come together this year.
We can't let you go without asking you a women's basketball question, too, because the Baylor women come in here on Sunday. They've won 8 in a row.
Yeah.
They're ranked 14th. How good is this Baylor women's team?
I think they're really good, and their only loss, they're 8-1 in conference and leading the league, and their only loss was a 1-point loss to Texas Tech to open conference. And that was without their leading scorer, Talia Scott, who's one of the top scorers in the league. She played 2 minutes in that game with a bad ankle. So I think they're playing really well. They're playing with a lot of confidence. You know what they have one thing that the men don't have is they've got a core of returning players. They've got 4 seniors, and 3 of those, the team is the real core for this team. And I think these days, tell me if you guys agree, these days the really good teams are the teams that have some experience, have some returning players, and have a big 2 or a big 3 that they can build around and bring the transfers and the freshmen in and build around them. But that's one thing that Nikki Collin has is that core of returning players. And they're playing really well. I mean, they're 19-3, and like you said, have won 8 in a row coming here on Sunday.
Yeah, the only loss is Texas Tech in conference and UT out of conference, plus an early season loss to Iowa. So 19-3 overall, 8-1 in the league. So that's going to be exciting as well. I guess it's an easy weekend for the charter company, right? Getting both teams in and out of here.
Well, not exactly, because we were in Cincinnati and came straight over here. So we've been here since Thursday, I guess just yesterday. But 2-game swing for the men, and then the women come in tomorrow. They'll play here Sunday, and then they go to Cincinnati and play there on Wednesday. So that's kind of life in the Big 12.
Yeah.
You know, when you can get those 2-game swings, it makes a lot of sense to do that.
Very good, John. Great information. We really appreciate it. You've been gracious with your time. And bundle up tonight, man, if you're going out somewhere to eat.
Yeah, we're not. We're staying in the hotel tonight. But love being here and looking forward to the game tomorrow. And I appreciate you guys having me on. Thanks a lot.
Thanks you.
Thanks, John. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks.
John,
you bet. Thanks.
John Morris there, play-by-play voice of the Baylor Bears. Baylor men against the Mountaineers tomorrow. Baylor women against West Virginia on Sunday. 304 Talk 304. We'll check the text line a little bit later on. Last segment of the show. A big Mountain East Conference game coming up this weekend there's 3 contenders. 3 teams have kind of separated themselves, and 2 are meeting this weekend with the University of Charleston playing up at West Liberty, and we'll talk about that with Daniel Woods, who's our Mountain East Conference sports line correspondent. That's all coming up on the CityNet statewide sports line. We invite you to stay tuned, and we'll be back.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
The Mountain State's premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show returns to Milan Park in Morgantown March 7th and 8th. Over 100,000 square feet of campers and RVs, boats and ATVs, hunting and fishing supplies, guns, knives, and more. Limited vendor space is now available. To put your products and services in front of over 10,000 outdoor enthusiasts, visit WVOutdoorSportsShow.com. The 24th Annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, presented by Can-Am, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. A WVRC media event.
The Mountain State Assessment of Trends in Community Health, or MATCH, is a survey sent to 88,000 West Virginian home addresses where the information you provide can support policymakers to direct resources to help your community. If selected, you will receive the survey information and invitation in the mail. You can complete the survey online, by mail, or by phone, and you will be compensated for your time. Visit wvmatchsurvey.org for more information. Helping your community is a touchdown for West Virginia.
We were built in West Virginia and for West Virginia. We're investing in our state by expanding our fiber network, creating local jobs, and delivering high-speed internet that truly performs. Sign up now and get 50% off your first year of service with plans starting as low as $25 a month. Experience the speed and reliability you deserve. Visit citynet.net today. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I have had a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
New year, new trucks. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Steig Wealth Enhancement Group is now Wealth Enhancement. We believe retirement starts with a plan. Saving for college starts with a plan. Your legacy starts with a plan. Do you have the right plan? Call our team at 304-443-4240 or email steig-info@wealthenhancement.com.
City Net Statewide Sports Line rolling on 304 Talk 304. We're going to get to the text line here. We got our Sports Line MEC correspondent Daniel Woods on the line to talk a little bit about the league in general and specifically that University of Charleston West Liberty game coming up this weekend. And Daniel, good evening.
Good evening.
Let's start with can this league get 3 teams into the NCAA tournament? Let's start there.
I think at this point, it's pretty reasonable to say so. You've got 2 teams that have spent time in the national polls already. In Fairmont State, that was ranked in the top 10 in the preseason, had some ups and downs, but is really stabilized. And then the team that's leading the league right now is West Liberty. They've got 1 loss in the conference, 3 on the year, one of which was to a top 10 ranked Lubbock Christian team. Those 2, I think right now, are trending towards being tournament teams. And then the question is, in that 3 through 6 or 7 group, what happens down the stretch? You mentioned it's UC tomorrow against West Liberty. Charleston's won 8 games in a row. They, I think, are as talented as any team in the league. They just needed to find their way in conference play, and they certainly have. Beyond that, you've got a Wheeling team that's been really feisty this year with Chris Richardson that seems to have really turned a corner. Glenville State and Bob Boland's second season is starting to head in the right direction. And then Concord under Todd May is having a second straight really strong season competing in that top tier of the league. Craig Gilbert is one of the most versatile players in Division II basketball. West Liberty and Fairmont feel really solid as far as their resumes go right now. I think down the stretch and in the conference tournament is where we're going to find out if one of those other teams in that next tier can step up to be tournament caliber.
Well, UC would take an enormous step with a 9th straight win if they could beat West Liberty tomorrow.
That's absolutely right. And I got to see that Charleston team back this past Saturday calling game for West Virginia State. And I'll tell you what, they're impressive. James Long has put together a really good group this year with a couple of transfers that he recruited to WVU Tech with Thomas Haley and Braden Chapman from Shady Spring. Those guys are both having great years. Hamilton Campbell's a Division III transfer at point guard that is leading the conference in assists per game. It's really just a talented roster. They've got some young guys, too, that have stepped up into big roles. And I haven't even mentioned their leading scorer in Matthew Shelton, who's just an athletic freak at 6'5". And they're going to West Liberty, who, like I mentioned, first in the league, their only loss in the conference was against that Fairmont State team that has spent time in the national top 25. And it's a first-year coach with Mike Lamberti after Ben Howlett went to IU Indy at the Division I level, but they haven't missed a beat. I saw them on Wednesday with West Virginia State, and it's different every time there's been a coaching change at West Liberty. I was talking to Fred Persinger about it today. There were things that Jim Crutchfield's teams did well in that particular system that Ben Howlett took over, ran the same system, but maybe they were better at different things within it. Same case with Mike Lamberti. This isn't a West Liberty team that is elite from three-point range. They've got good shooters, but they run that full court press as well as just about any West Liberty team that I've seen covering this league. So UC's got a big test, but they're as hot as anybody in the country right now.
So you've mentioned a lot of teams that we're normally used to being up there, albeit some of those with new coaches, but surprises in the league, is it Wheeling? Where's the biggest surprise you think within this league?
Right now, I would probably say Wheeling. I would say at 11-7, 6-5 in the league, this is certainly Chris Richardson's best start to the year since he's been there. His record overall is 54, 55, and 100 in his tenure there since taking over for Danny Sankum. They've improved every year, but they really seem to have turned a corner. Aiden Goal is a transfer from Wisconsin Green Bay that has come in as a redshirt freshman and is top 5 in the conference in scoring. They've got some athletes on the wings. T. Harris is somebody that absolutely looks like a Division I player physically, and he's got skills out there on the floor as well. And then if I had to give an honorable mention for the biggest surprise, Glenville State has been a really pleasant surprise. Bob Bolin has recruited in-state really well. Elijah Redfern from Beckley has turned into one of the best guards in the league. Amar Maxwell from Shady Spring might be the best glue guy in the MEC. And they've got role players like Rye Gadd from Webster County, Corey Bolden from South Harrison, guys that just deserve shout-outs that are really strong in-state talents that have all come together with some guys from other places. Their leading scorer is Jalen Knott, who is a transfer from Central Missouri. But you put that all together, they've been impressive as well.
Greg, we saw Wheeling play West Virginia in that first exhibition game. You could tell right from the very start that Chris had his best team there. And given the resources that Wheeling puts behind that program, or frankly doesn't put behind that program, it's remarkable the season they are having there. He is absolutely a candidate for Coach of the Year, in my opinion, in that league. He's been fantastic. But Daniel, let's talk about another team. You mentioned Fairmont State a minute ago. A lot of people thought going into the season this was Tim Koenig's best team at Fairmont State, and that's saying a whole lot because they are good every year. He's one of the best coaches in the country, never mind this league. Give us a quick look at Fairmont State as we head down the stretch.
They're a ton of fun. And like I said, they had some ups and downs, some losses maybe they weren't expecting. But like you said, the talent is off the charts. Drake Carter is a Division I transfer, 6'9", kind of point forward, has ball skills, but can go down inside. Talk about some more West Virginia guys, Zykeas Dobbs and Jaden West from Fairmont Senior and Notre Dame, respectively, are guys that are more role players on this team, but they play those roles really, really well. This is about as balanced a team that I've seen Tim Koenig have at Fairmont State. It's talked about with this WVU men's basketball team, kind of the baton games, you like to say, where you have a different leading scorer every night. It's kind of like that with Fairmont State. You never necessarily know who's going to be the one to step up and beat you on a given night, but more often than not, there's somebody from Fairmont State that's going to step up and beat you.
Daniel, before we let you go, obviously, sports fans in the state know the situation that West Virginia State's in with the passing of Ishmael Smith in mid-December. You've been around that team. Obviously, it was devastating. We can't imagine having to go on losing a teammate like that, but what's it been like this year with this team, having to face that and having to go out and face the MEC schedule?
I'll be honest. I mean, it's not been easy. It's not been easy for me broadcasting games, and I'm the last person that should be that anybody should be worried about their emotional state, because I mean these guys these were his roommates, these were his teammates, these were guys that were with Izzy in the locker room every day, and they've put on brave faces every time they go out there. I mean, I am incredibly proud to be able to go out and see these guys play, and it's not been easy on the court, and there haven't been a lot of wins in this second half of the season, but every time they go out there and show up and play 40 minutes, in my opinion, they're paying tribute to his legacy. And West Virginia State's done, in general, an incredible job paying tribute to his legacy. For the folks out there that don't know, his jersey was retired at a game a couple weeks ago. His family was presented with a posthumous degree. He was posthumously inducted into the university's alumni association. So, yeah, it's not been easy for anyone in the second half of this season, in particular for the players, for Brian Poore and his coaching staff. But every time, like I said, every time those guys go out and play a 40-minute basketball game, no matter what the score is, they are absolutely doing his legacy justice.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, on that note, have a good call tomorrow, and we appreciate your time, and perhaps we'll visit again here as we get closer to the postseason tournament coming up.
All right, thank you. Talk to you soon.
Daniel Woods there of our Charleston division, play-by-play for West Virginia State. And again, the conference schedule tomorrow in the MEC, West Virginia State at Wheeling. The UC West Liberty game, that's a big one. Glenville State plays at Fairmont State as well. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Stay with us. The CityNet statewide sports line will continue after this.
We're expanding our ultra-fast fiber network across West Virginia, bringing reliable, lightning-fast internet to more homes every day. With plans up to 10 gig, you'll enjoy unbeatable speed for streaming, gaming, and working from home. And right now, new customers get 50% off any plan for their first year, now as low as $25 a month. No contracts, free installation, local support you can count on. Check availability today at citynet.net. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
The sports medicine experts at WVU Medicine treat athletes of all ages and skill levels, including the Mountaineers. So whether you suit up for WVU or play for fun, don't let an injury keep you on the bench. The best athletes around the state depend on world-class care from the same WVU Medicine orthopedics providers that help you with sprains, broken bones, or anything that life throws at you. It is a great day to be a Mountaineer with WVU Medicine. Call 855-WVU-CARE.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
On the next State of Minds.
People appreciate cool tattoos and they appreciate good tattoos. It's a way to make yourself different.
What do you think would fit me?
I think a ninja. A ninja with 2 swords.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Trojan Landing Marine is now Charleston's newest power sports dealership.
We now feature a full line of sleek Suzuki street bikes and 4-wheelers. We're now offering the innovative riding experience of Benda motorcycles. The next step in motorcycle evolution with all-electric Zero high-performance bikes. We've now got Segway vehicles starting as low as $10,000. Come in and check out our great selection of high-quality Benelli and Royal Enfield bikes. Visit Trojan Landing in Charleston, now your water, road, and dirt dealership.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
Since 1979, the health plan has called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric for over 4 decades. They've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses, proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years. The health plan. We're back on the CityNet statewide sports line. Kyle, Greg, and Brad to the text line, 304-TALK-304. Texter says, speaking of the Greenbrier game, we were talking about the high school event that's going on there now. And looking back to the West Virginia women's win over Duke, this texter says, I think the women's team should throw that lineup back out there on occasion when the normal starters are struggling. Well, that's going to be a tremendous Mountaineer trivia question forever, right?
Yeah.
The Greenbrier 5. Sydney Shaw, Sydney Woodley, Makaluski off the bench, Logan Johnson, and Riviere, I believe, right?
Yeah, CC Riviere.
Good job there, Kyle. You banged that right out. Yeah. That was well done.
That's the green. Again, that's a great trivia question now for the rest of Mountaineer sports history, the Greenbrier 5.
Yeah, that was great of you to remember it now, just, 2 months in? I guess
it's easy.
Next year.
The two, yeah, exactly. Next year, ask me again. The 2 Sydneys, I remember Riviere, and, of course, Logan Johnson, who was – about the last player on the bench, played the whole second half. Steve from Philippi says, hey, guys, Michigan State and Michigan tonight on Fox, 8 o'clock. Okay, that should be interesting. Let's see. 304,
Brett,
talk
I'll
304. Go ahead.
You get into college basketball much earlier than I, but I'm just the last week or two really deep into it. I mean, it takes me through college football season and even maybe the championship game before. I'm fully invested. Is that
welcome
wrong?
Aboard.
Is that
welcome aboard. We're glad you're invested now and into it. You got a month. You got a month here, and then March Madness.
The college game we're watching here, this is a big one in the MAC. Of course, Miami's undefeated and ranked in the top 25. They're in first place in the MAC, but these are the second and third place teams, and Akron is leading Kent State 33-27, again with an eye on Sharon Young. No points yet. He's got 3 rebounds in 11 minutes and did start the game tonight for Akron.
Yeah, he just went out. He's been playing here for the last few minutes, just went out. That's big game. Looks like a great atmosphere in there in Akron.
And 33-27, Akron in the lead in the second half. 304 talk 304. Texter says, shouldn't be any questions about his eligibility. What a load. How did John keep from laughing when he said that? Unbelievable.
Well, John is technically right what he's saying, right? I mean, it's you can get after them, but you really got to get on the rules of the thing. And there was news today, Greg, and we talked about it weeks ago. We said there's going to be somebody that played in an NBA game that is going to challenge the rulings, and here we go. Former UCLA player has announced he is lawyered up and will be going to court to try and gain his eligibility, a guy that has appeared in NBA games. So it's not going to stop.
That's where they all get it. I mean, it's the court system. Everybody blames the NCAA, but it's the courts that have found for these players, and that's why they're getting eligibility.
Yeah, the NCAA is 0 and infinity.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty much across the board and everything. So that's the big reason. All right, Mountaineer men against Baylor tomorrow. Mountaineer women against Baylor on Sunday. Greg and Travis will talk about it all coming up on the Sunday show. We'll be back Monday as well. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the CityNet Statewide Sports Line.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sports Line is an exclusive production of the Metro News Radio Network. All rights reserved.